Hey everybody, welcome back to Northern Lion Plays Abiding by AFTERBIRTH. 33 wins in a row. I love those palindromic wins. We got 11 to go until 44. Hopefully we get there. This seems okay. J44N, M9PE. Range is huge because of my reflection, and then Unicorn Horn as well. I will say the problem with this run right now is... I'm going to have to pop this, I think. The problem with this run right now is it's an XL floor. Little Loki's okay. It's an XL floor and we have no Spirit Hearts. So there is a not insignificant chance that we could fuck up our first deal with the devil, or even just not have the HP necessary to get a deal with the devil. And then, you know, that could kickstart a shame spiral that leads to our destruction. But why spend all of our time worried about the fall that could befall us when we could just talk about the positives of this run? Like, for example, Unicorn Horn allows us to protect that invincibility that is sacred right now. As long as we use Unicorn Horn... Oh, man, and Death's Touch is real great. As long as we use Unicorn Horn only as is necessary right now, i.e. instead of using it just to do damage to an enemy quickly, we use it to protect ourselves and create invincibility so that we don't lose our deal with the devil precedent, I think we're in an okay situation. I would love to encounter a single bomb. Probably guarantees me a very good shot at getting a Spirit Heart, like for example from this situation right here, but no harm, no foul so far. All things considered, I'd probably rather have to fly by the seat of my pants and get an item as good as Death's Touch rather than vice versa. So I'm very contented with the situation we find ourselves in right now. Never do that. Never do that dodge. I mean, I made a mistake, but at the same time, I was very right when I said never do that dodge. If only I had taken my own advice and not immediately done that dodge again. So we may have fucked up our deal with the devil. However, we also got a deal with the devil caliber item in the form of Death's Touch. So I think we do not need to fear in the immediacy of this moment. We could still get a deal with the devil. And at this point, oh, there's our bombs. If only we'd come downwards instead of upwards first. This could be a secret room. It kind of feels like it, but maybe on the other side. And I think we should go get the other, well, one of the other two tinted rocks as well. They're kind of in awkward situations here. That could be, no, it's not a secret room. This could be a secret room, though. And it is not. We got 2 Spirit Hearts now, and then we should be able to... No, you know what? That one's going to take 2 bombs. It doesn't mean we shouldn't go for it, but we shouldn't go for it yet. You know, why... If you only have half of the money to buy something, don't use all of your money on a down payment for it, because what if you don't get that other money? You know? Then you're in a bad situation, whereas you could have been in this situation right here and just gotten this right away, and we will crack into that. It seems like a good, or at least a decent investment for me. Take a battery, use it, enter the room. Oh my god, Sin Robes, Ceremonial Robes, wonderful here. Only enabled because we had 2 battery charges, but that's very nice. So we continue to get, like, very, very strong on this floor. This one requires 2 bombs as well, but we'll see how this goes. Honestly, Larry Jr. is easier to kill with Death's Touch than almost any other boss in the game, so let's save our charge for the next boss. This time we have HP and Monstro. I think we made the right decision there. Honestly, our own tiers do much more damage, though, than... Or much more DPS than Unicorn Horn, at least until we get an orbital. Terrible, terrible dodge there. Deal with the devil, please? No. And, I mean, I can't disagree. I have to accept that I did bung this one up a little bit, but... There, but for the grace of Edmund, do I find myself in a great situation here. Got HP, Speed, Ceremonial Robes, Lil Loki, which is an okay familiar, and then also Death's Touch, which is really what's pulling this whole run together right now. And if we could get enough money, which we did, to get Battery Baby, that would be very good. So now, we'll freeze enemies, we'll get extra battery charges out of nowhere. This is a very good first floor, especially considering we didn't get a deal with the devil. Would like a rate of fire increase, but apart from that, lovely situation, and the game has seen fit to be very kind to us. I appreciate that. We even left 2 tinted rocks behind. Maybe could have managed our bombs better, but I don't know, it worked out pretty well. We will check. You know what, let's wait. I played really badly on the last run. We won, but we won because we had Mega and, you know, got decent items and didn't get penalized with respect to the bosses that we faced and, you know, the rooms that we ran into that much. I want to try to play smarter. And I recognize that by a lot of people's perspectives, taking unknown pills does not an intelligent player make. However, I like to maintain that level of uncertainty as well. Keeps things exciting for me. But beyond that, I want to do the little things right, you know? The Isaac, you know, 400 level classes. The ones you got to take before you get your bachelor's degree. 404, I don't know. I'm content with Black Feather right now. And Judas' Shadow, also great if we get the chance to use it effectively. And probably should have waited until we got a chance to use it effectively before we took that. Eternal Heart, that's okay. Again, just slow it down. Post-mortem here, talk about the things we could have done better. Why am I not going to that curse room? Because if there's blue fires or stone chests in there, I want to make sure that I have a bomb that I can use. So if we can get a bomb on this floor, that's when we'll go to town there. So we actually, and I didn't notice this until I saw that we had another trinket, but we do have the ability to have a damage upgrade thanks to Black Feather. Like, as of right now... Oh, that was actually a really good usage there. As a result of Sin Robes, we should be at an extra 0.3 damage up, which is not bad. I don't think any of our other items actually count as evil upgrades, but it's okay. This room obviously not worth going into, but at least we went into it the right way. And I stand by that. Getting a key for a battery charge and half of a black heart when there was a lot more upside potentially is not that bad either. So just keep yourself out of harm's way here. That actually took me very much by surprise. But we've got to be coming close to the boss fight. We're way ahead of schedule. Honestly, I would love a deal with... We're going to get a deal with the devil on this floor. We're just one floor behind. And that's the real problem is if you don't get a deal with the devil on the first opportunity because your HP is fucked and then you can never recover because it puts you... you backslide. But as long as you can recover from it, and we've been lucky enough to find a lot of spirit hearts and black hearts that make that extremely plausible, then it's not as much of a concern. You know what would be a cool mod for Afterbirth Plus that's very, very, very minor but would be neat from a mechanical standpoint? What if Suicide King gave you one chest per HP container, you know, red heart, black heart, or spirit heart, that you had when you popped it? So you had more incentive to pop Suicide King the more HP you had. Obviously, still, you're probably not going to sacrifice a one run to get, like, you know, 11 chests, but you could. You could. Necronomicon or Unicorn Horn? It might have been a little closer earlier, but now there's no contest. You take Unicorn Horn because it plus Cube of Meat is pretty good. Not a great deal with the devil, but at least now we have precedent. And again, we should probably kill ourselves to make Judas' Shadow work as best as possible, but I'm not going to sweat it too much yet. There may come a time in the future where that becomes more prudent. For right now, it's not really necessary, I think. Hopefully we can find a way into that boss trap room. But for now, like, the yardstick I want to use to measure this run is, like, is it plausible that we win with our current stats? I think it is. And we're still very early on. It's only the caves too. So anything, chocolate milk for example, that drastically improves our chances is even better. So we're gonna get low on HP first, hopefully, and then we're gonna go into the mob trap room. You know what? I do think, as much as you may disagree with me, I think IV Bag is probably better than Unicorn Horn. I think there's more potential for goodness there. We will crack into this. We're getting, like, seriously great damage. I wish we could just hit twice with the My Reflection shots. Ooh, how did we not... I guess maybe because of one makes you smaller. We didn't technically overlap with the hitbox there, but it felt like we overlapped with the hitbox. Totally fine. I recognize there's a large temptation to stick with Unicorn Horn because of the Cube of Meat, but I trust myself and I trust my orbital mechanics. Ooh, thank you. To keep ourselves steady here. It does make battery bag basically fucking useless, though. I'll accept that. Battery? Did I call it battery bag? Battery bag, battery bag. Favorite singer is Billy Bragg. British folk song extraordinaire. Billy Bragg. I don't know much about Billy Bragg. He did some songs with Wilco, I think. Okay, this... We're at the intersection of, like, Dude and Catastrophe on that one. Okay. Succubus was a great option for us to get here. It's lucky for us, I suppose, that we are able to actually go pretty hard on the Demon Judgment, mostly because we've got Judas' Shadow backing us up. And, of course, if we respawn with Judas' Shadow, IV Bag's liable to be a lot less useful. But I still think that it just gives us a little bit more... Let me put it this way. You're probably more content to fuck around in your first year of college if your dad's the dean. And if we got Judas' Shadow as our backup plan, our dad is the dean right now. So we can probably have a second chance if things go terribly wrong. Now, for those of you, this topic of conversation comes up all the time on the show. For those of you who have entered college, you know, in September or in August even, for the first year, or even if it's not your first year, congratulations, have a good time, don't fuck around, it's so easy. I don't mean, like, this is preaching to the converted, probably. But I know, you know, I have friends who were in engineering. Oh, you wouldn't understand what it's like to be in school for 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. It's ridiculous. What this is a ramp leading you to what real life is going to be like. And you might say, you don't know what real life is going to be like. You would be wrong, you know? Even though I do spend my weeks playing video games for the amusement of strangers, I'm very lucky to be able to do so. Real life responsibilities are ubiquitous to adulthood, you know? I still gotta pay taxes, I got bills, you know, we got health concerns, familial and otherwise, you know? These things will creep up on you, and maybe you've experienced them a little bit, but there's only more of it as you grow. So my advice to you is take this opportunity and recognize college can be hard work. It's harder work than high school for sure, but it's also not to make you feel down about things. For many people, it's probably the easiest your life will ever be again. At least until retirement, you know? So enjoy it, but also work your ass off and be good. Take passion in what you do, you know? So you don't end up playing a video game you're bad at for the amusement of... I'm just joking. I find my job fulfilling. To be honest, you know, it's not traditionally fulfilling necessarily, but get messages from people that are like, hey, you know, I've made you part of my routine for the last 4 years, and I just wanted to say, every time you miss a tinted rock, it makes me want to, you know, blow my brains out. Oh, sweet, yeah, it's nice to feel important. No, you get very nice messages from people on the regular, and they're saying things like, you know, you helped get me through school. You know, maybe I can distract you and provide background noise, even if you're not listening to what I'm saying. Just the droll tones of my voice help you, you know, focus on Andre Ampere's magical, mystical, wonderful law of Maxwell's equations. It is the longest and strangest of all. Go nuts, man. But, you know, trust me, as someone who, in college, I lived with one person who was doing like a double major in physics and mathematics, and then 5 engineers. 4 engineers. Doesn't matter. The specifics don't matter. Almost everybody I lived with was an engineer or doing something like very rigorous in college. And they were always complaining about how busy they were. And when I talk to them now, they're like, man, I had no idea that I would be this busy when I got out of college too. You know, don't it always seem to go? You don't know what you got till it's gone. That being said, they're also being paid for it, and in some cases quite well. So, you know, that's the trade-off there. Blank car, okay. But it's like, I hear college students complaining about being in college sometimes. Oh, I got 24 hours of class this week. Oh, I got 30 hours of class this week. Yo, that sucks. You gotta understand how that sounds from the perspective of an adult, you know? Average work week, 35, 40, 50 hours, sometimes more. You got adults working, you know, 2 jobs, put their kids through school, etc., etc. Plus, you're like somewhere between the ages of 18 and 24. It's like the peak of the human body. Most of you have your health. I'm not trying to say that everybody this age is healthy. You know, you probably look as handsome or as beautiful as you're ever gonna look. You can put down 8 to 12 beers every Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Thirsty Thursdays as well without it having a catastrophic effect on your figure. You know, you're a different species and you're like, oh, life's so hard. Don't worry about it. Don't stress out about it too much. By the way, that's not to say life gets worse when you get out of, I probably should have used this Joker card, huh? That's not to say life gets worse when you get out of college. You know, my life is actually very good. I think I'm going to use the Joker card here. And of course, there are some things you don't have in college. Like most people, for example, do not have very much money in college. Or sometimes respect from your peers, you know? Your professors aren't going, hey, first year physics student, how do you feel about this phenomenon? Some of the time they are, I guess, but not all the time. We're going to take multidimensional, buddy. But you got other stuff going for you. You got to respect it, you know? It's only probably going to get harder. But that's a good thing, you know? Because the second you stop running, you ever see like a person worked really hard their entire life and then look forward to retirement and then they get retired and they're like, I don't know what the fuck to do with myself. That's 40 hours a week I got to fill with something else. I know what you're thinking. Right now, you're like, that's easy. I'll just do exactly whatever I want to do at any given moment. This is a very young person approach to it, and I'll admit that I've thought the same thing at many points in my life, but I think it's harder than you'd think to get out of that habit. Anyway, I don't even know what we're talking about anymore, but that's a great sign. Unlike the Mega Run, where we talked about Isaac mechanics the whole time, this run has gotten to the point where we can safely non sequitur without being concerned about how our lives are going here, which is beautiful. We're at 14 minutes on Dank Depths 2, so we actually are on boss rush phase already here. All I'm saying, you know, I got preachier than I expected. All I'm saying, enjoy college, but go to class. Just go to class. You're paying for the class. Go to class. That's it. Why is your advice always go to class, NL? Because it's the one thing that should be compulsory in your college experience. I know what you're thinking. Some of you, at least, are like, well, there's no participation mark, and the prof just lectures from the textbook, and the final exam is worth 70% and the midterms worth 30. Why would I go to class when I can just read the textbook? Yo, because you have an unprecedented ability and opportunity to hear an intelligent person lecture you for the low time investment of, 3 hours per week, basically. Oh, there's our boss rush as well. That's incredible. You know, in the future, when you get older, you're out of university, you want to talk to somebody who's like really good at their job, it's going to cost you like, $20 to $1,000 an hour. You want to talk to an accountant, you want to talk to a lawyer, you want to talk to like a PhD. Ooh, I think as much as I love, you know what? No. Take Toxic Shock. They're both good. And even if that would have given me spun directly, Toxic Shock is just more fun than just getting a raw damage increase on an already powerful run. So take advantage of the fact that, you pay to be in an institution where intelligent people want to talk to you, or at least, want to talk to you enough because they get paid to talk to you, but still it's a good opportunity. Later in life, these people, unless you, sign their checks, aren't going to give you the time of day. So you got to be, take advantage of this opportunity to be in an environment where learning is a prerogative. But anyway, this is nonsense at this point. How's the Isaac run going? Weirdly enough, it may actually be faster than the Mega Run, in spite of the fact that the Mega Run had one thing going for it this run does not have, and it starts with an M, it's 4 letters long, and the answer, of course, is milk. That's right, I had a glass of milk before the episode, and that gave me the mental brain power necessary to, no, I actually, the last time, it's, people sometimes remember, this is a Seinfeld joke, but they remember like the last time they threw up. I remember the last glass of milk I had almost on the same level of that from a traumatic standpoint. Kate's mom had bought us the ingredients for a soup called gamjatang, which is a Korean pork soup that's fairly spicy. Gamja is Korean for potato. There's some potatoes in it as well. It's delicious. As I was cooking it, though, there were some, Korean peppers in it. Korean peppers tend not to be that spicy. Korean food is spicy most of the time, much of the time at least. But Korean peppers themselves are not like, habanero level or anything along those lines. So I was like, I'll just try one of these raw. And it burned me, man. It burned me in a way that I have not been burned for quite some time. So I had a glass of milk trying to get that spiciness out of my mouth. I mean, I guess we'll go Book of Revelations. And then before that, I think it was a similar situation. That was like a year ago. And then before that, the last time I'd had a glass of milk was probably 3 years before that. For the same situation. Got some Thai food. There was a raw pepper in it. I thought it was a green bean. I ate it. And then I was like, this is hot. I need some milk. I'm not much of a chili head. But I do enjoy spicy food. Anyway. I'm just not I don't understand milk. I don't get it. I'm not a milk guy. It's not like I'm like, how could... There is a conceptual argument, I think. Like, why are you drinking, you know, the nutritional fluid of another... meant for another creature's child? Like, that's a little weird to me. I won't deny it. However, you know, we, as human beings, we eat lots of weird shit. Have you ever seen kombucha? It's made with, like, a freaking, you know, paramecium that just... has, you know, fermented byproducts that, you know, then you go to the Whole Foods and you pay $12 a jar for it or something like that. Like, it's a little gross, and we just accept that. As human beings, you know, most of the progress of mankind is putting an extra level of abstraction between us and the weird shit that we consume on a regular basis. The stars. I might as well just pop it. The Empress card is not doing anything for us, for being honest, so, that's, I mean, it's not a conceptual problem with milk, I just don't like the flavor of milk. And it makes no sense for me to explain it, because to me, the way I explain it is, like, it just tastes like it's like water with something in it. That was terrible damage. Which is what it is, but that's also what all liquids are, you know, is just, you know, aqueous solution of water and, you know, something else. So I can't really have a logical argument against milk. All I can say is that I don't really like it myself. And people say, oh yeah, but you eat it on cereal. No, I do not. And I honestly am a little offended that you think that I'm a man of such flimsy principles. I enjoy dry cereal. And it's not just I prefer my cereal dry. I enjoy dry cereal. When it comes to having a convenient, relatively economical, semi-potentially, depending on what brand you get, reasonably healthy breakfast. And I know you're gonna be, well, no matter what kind of breakfast you got, it doesn't have the kind of protein you need after you go through, you know, all that, what's the word, atrophy overnight. You know, you've been starving your gains for 8 hours. How you ever expect, you know, look, okay? I'm a married man. I sit in front of this computer 8 hours a day. Try to get enough exercise, and I do eat right, and, you know, don't smoke, don't drink too much, etc., etc., but I'm never gonna look like, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime. And I don't need to. I've already got my value to society. It's already been sorted. I'm not gonna fight Hush. I don't trust our damage that much, even though it's pretty good. I've already got my place in society is already here. You, if you're younger or unattached, you can augment your place in society by getting, you know, rippling biceps. I'm set. You know, you ever wonder why, like, you see, like, 45-year-olds, 50-year-olds, and they all have, like, the same body shape? Society and the world has grabbed onto their youthful bodies and sucked the drive to look like an Adonis out of it. And that's okay, because as you get older, you realize, you know, it's not all about having lats that put Brock Lesnar to shame. You know, wisdom's important, and, you know, kindness is important, compassion, and justice, and principles, and mercy, and sympathy. You know, these are all important. When I was younger, it was all about, you know, how do I get the lines on your hips that make it look like they're drawing a line from your dick to your abdomen, you know? You value different things as you get older. I'm not going to say it's better or worse. Truth be told, as people get older, they could probably use a little jolt of their youth, I guess. And as people are younger, they could probably use a little dose of that wisdom. You know, you lose a little bit of that hunger once you start to eat from the fruits of adult life. I understand that, but anyway, I don't even know what I was talking about anymore. Oh yeah, breakfast cereal. Of course. That's the genesis for this conversation on, you know, the difference in mankind as you age. And by the way, recognize, as I always say, that as a 27-year-old, I will be the first to tell you that you probably shouldn't be taking seriously my thoughts on aging, given the fact that by, you know, pretty much any standard, I'm not that old. Unless you're like, 8, and you're like, well, how old do you think I am? You seem really old. Are you 22? Anyway, I eat my breakfast cereal without milk. I like my sugar with coffee and cream. Let's head down. This is another really quick run here. I think we need to be shit on a little bit. We need to be put in our place because these last 2 runs have been too easy. Looks like we're going that way, so let's take the D20. And I did take Guillotine as well. Lowered tier delay also turns us into an orbital. I don't know if that's, that good. Yeah, okay, absolutely. Fuck the forget. First off, reroll the heart. We'll get a card out of it. Card is the Emperor! That's so good. I'm not going to use it. But know that in theory, that's the right card for us to be using here. Then we'll crack open these ones. Chemical Peel, D4. The Leech. Okay, I will use the D4 once at least. I think using it once is very fair. This is a strange run. I don't even understand. We have Little Brim. I mean, it seems great, actually. Unusual, but great. Are we immune to explosions? We do have Serpent's Kiss, so I think HP-wise we should be good. I'm not going to reroll us anymore, but I really, if we're going inside baseball with our Isaac commentary here, I really like the equilibrium that we've created for ourselves with these rerolls. No longer are we rerolling like absolutely every single run all the time, as often as it's plausible. Instead, we're rerolling, once when we find reroll situations, and that helps preserve the fact that they're a little bit special, I think. And I think that is giving me a newfound appreciation for cultivating a run instead of just throwing it away at the earliest opportunity. This is going to be faster than our Mega run, ridiculously. And, we'll just come in here with Sack Dagger, and we're immune to explosions, apparently, so we'll land our incredibly powerful technology shots and say thank you for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal, and of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.